Mr. President, this morning I introduced a very simple amendment that directs the Attorney General to release the Epstein files. It's the same amendment as the one working its way in the House, and the same one that my good friend from Oregon, who just spoke on another issue, has been so active in championing. As soon as today, Republicans have a chance to take a step further in releasing the files. The same files that for years they have said they wanted released. If Republicans vote no, they'll be saying to the American people, you should not see the Epstein files. I asked my Republican colleagues, after all those years you spent calling for accountability, for transparency, for getting to the bottom of these awful crimes, why won't you vote yes? Let me remind my colleagues of the things they have said for themselves on the Epstein issue. After all, Leader McConnell said, quote, there's no question the accusations against Epstein are horrendous, and I think it's good news that they're being pursued further. That's what McConnell said. Whatever happened to that? The current majority leader, Senator Thune, said less than 2 months ago, yes, he said, we're all interested in making sure that justice is served and there is full disclosure and transparency. And what about Senator Blackburn, who said it's imperative we figure out who was involved with Jeffrey Epstein? That's the only way we're going to break apart this $150 billion a year human trafficking, sex trafficking ring. Or Senator Johnson, who said, the alleged victims are entitled to know what happened. The American people are entitled to know what happened. Well, I could not agree more with all of them. To my Republican colleagues, I say, to every senator, I say, this is your chance now. You can vote right now to give transparency to the American people and reveal the files, or you can vote to hide the very files you've claimed to desperately want released for years. The choice lies with our Republican colleagues today. If Republicans vote no, they'll be saying the American people should not see the Epstein files. I say to my Republican colleagues again, if you vote no, I say to every senator, if you vote no, you'll be saying the American people should not see the Epstein files, plain and simple. The American people deserve transparency. The American people are sick of Donald Trump's endless string of pathological lies and cover-ups when it comes to the Epstein files. Trump lied when he promised he'd release the Epstein files. Trump lied when he said the FBI never told him if his name was mentioned in the files. Trump lied when he said he never wrote that gross, salacious letter to Epstein on his 50th birthday. And he lied last week when he called the whole thing nothing but a Democratic hoax. It's not a hoax, it's real, and Americans want to get to the bottom of it. Americans want transparency. From Trump, we're hearing one brazen lie after the other. From Trump, we're hearing a massive cover-up. Americans are wondering, what the heck is Donald Trump hiding? Well, we can take back that veil. We can release those files, take a big step to releasing those files by voting yes on my amendment. It's clear Donald Trump can't be trusted to tell the truth to the American people, so it should be up to the Senate to do so. The Senate must force the issue. And I say to my Republican friends, as long as you keep voting no, America's going to lose trust in government and lose trust in you. I yield the floor and note the absence of a quorum.
Clerk will call the
Schumer's floor speech may sound straightforward on the surface. He's introducing an amendment to release the Epstein files, but the implications run much deeper. This is not just a procedural step. It's about whether the United States government is finally ready to confront a scandal that has haunted politics, business, and society for decades. Think about it. For years, the Epstein case has existed in this murky space of half-truths, whispers, and speculation. We know Epstein was a convicted sex offender. We know he had ties to some of the most powerful people on earth: politicians, billionaires, celebrities. We know he ran in elite circles, flying people out to his private island, his Manhattan townhouse, his private jet. But what we don't fully know, and what remains locked away in these files, is just how far those connections go and how much influence he wielded over institutions meant to hold people accountable. That's why Schumer's push is so important. This isn't about Democrats versus Republicans on some ordinary bill. This is about whether lawmakers, especially Republicans, who have long said they wanted transparency, will now put their votes behind those words. Schumer is essentially saying, enough talk, now prove it. If you really meant all those statements about justice for victims and rooting out trafficking networks, this is your chance to act. But here's where it gets even heavier, because this is about more than just one man. Epstein is dead, but the system that allowed him to operate, to thrive, and to protect himself for years is still very much alive. Networks of power, wealth, and secrecy don't just vanish. The truth locked in those files could expose not just individuals, but patterns of complicity and cover-ups that stretch far beyond Epstein himself. And Schumer doesn't shy away from pointing the finger at Donald Trump. He accuses Trump of breaking promises, lying about his involvement, dismissing the scandal as a hoax, and repeatedly misleading the public. If true, this is more than political spin. It's an attempt to bury one of the darkest chapters in modern American history. And if Trump lied, if he helped conceal details, then the bigger question becomes, what is being hidden, and who benefits from keeping it buried? That's why this moment matters. Transparency isn't just a buzzword. It's about whether survivors finally get the recognition and justice they deserve. It's about whether the American people can trust their leaders to shine light on corruption, even when it touches the rich and powerful. And it's about whether Congress is willing to stand up against the culture of secrecy that has let predators hide in plain sight. So, when Schumer says the choice is clear, vote to release the files or vote to keep them hidden, he's not just pressuring his colleagues, he's throwing down a moral challenge. Do you stand with the truth, or do you stand with silence? Do you stand with survivors, or with the system that failed them? And this is where you, the public, come in, because none of this happens in a vacuum. Politicians act when they feel pressure, when they know people are watching, when they know the public won't tolerate excuses anymore. If you believe survivors deserve answers, if you believe democracy requires transparency, then keep paying attention, keep asking questions, keep demanding accountability. Because at the end of the day, these files aren't just pieces of paper. They are a test of whether America is willing to confront its ugliest truths, no matter who gets exposed in the process.